I just got a flash of what I want to talk about, and I want to say in advance that I'm a little bit nervous to speak in public about it, but I'm going to anyway because I think that doing things that makes you uncomfortable is generally a good strategy of going about life. Um, so first of all, I think it's so amazing that as a human, I have the opportunity to live around a bunch of humans. And that is an invaluable resource to be around a bunch of people who are constantly um, giving me new perspectives and giving me new ways to look at my own memories or my own problems or my own whatever. And to be able to give me new worldviews and I don't know, tell me stories that I can live vicariously through. And so I'll just go ahead and say it. So yesterday, I went to a church service, an actual church service for a church that runs out of this really sweet like coffee bar restaurant here in town like in the place where they usually have bands play. Sunday morning church service. Super epic people breaking away from the Christian church, or not breaking away from the Christian church, but breaking away from the dogmatic, organized, corrupt entity that the church has become over the past couple thousand years. um, I have not been to a church service with my heart in almost a decade now, and I was super blown away by being there because the first thing I experienced was like extreme judgment and extreme abrasiveness to even like the idea of being there. But I was listening to the songs and it was reminding me of when I did used to go to the church, and I was just like, this is like I had all my programs running of why this was so irrelevant to anything that I know about the universe. And I had to talk myself out of judgment. And it took a while. It took a lot of energy, and it took a lot of coffee actually to get my mind moving faster so I could convince myself faster. But once I released, I started feeling what I used to as a kid when I went to church. I kind of that tingling feeling of being around a bunch of people who really believed in what they were talking about and what they were grateful for. Being around a bunch of adults who maybe really were grateful for something that they had seen in the contrast of their lives of believing in this set of beliefs and not doing that. So after we sang, the guy was talking, and everybody in there, including the person doing the sermon and the people doing the music, are like they're like mid to late 20s, super hipply dressed and just like talking and joking around and smiling like a bunch of normal folk, And he's talking about something really significant about the helmet of salvation that it talks about in Ephesians. And what is so interesting about it is that essentially what it's talking about is it's the shield for your thoughts, right? You have like a whole outfit of like awesome character traits that God uses to protect you. And like you have like I don't remember which ones are which, but it's like hope and honesty and like all these things that you want to be as a human or whatever. But yeah, the helmet of salvation being guarding your thoughts. The idea is, I think, is it's the same thing that New Age people are talking about. Of like, I mean, not just New Age people, but I mean, like people into quantum physics and people into psychology and people into all these fields who are tapping into this thing of what you focus on, you get more of, right? But like more than that, like what you like, no, really, your reality starts to coalesce based on what you're focusing on. And like you are a product of your environment, but your environment's a product of you, kind of thing. um so so basically what if you just like drop whatever you think you know about religion really fast and think about what, like, if you subscribe to the Christian beliefs, what you would be subscribing to is this idea that there is a force greater than you, that exists and wants to make sure that you get everything that you want, that wants to give you abundance and wants you to be happy and wants you to feel loved, and so unconditionally loves you and showers you with gifts, and all you have to do is move out of the way, basically. Doesn't that sound familiar? That like pronoia, like the universe is conspiring to help you. And when you put a story to that, like a personified story, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. I would like to repeat, aside from what you believe and aside from what judgments you have on it, this is such a well ingrained tradition over thousands of years. Even, I mean, taking it back to the Old Testament and like bringing it through to the people who started subscribing to the New Testament, because it was the prophecy of unconditional love, and the God of the Old Testament is this like vengeful bastard, you know. Such a fucking vengeful bastard. And the people who subscribed to the New Testament were like fuck that guy. He kills us and he makes deals with the devil and like watches us suffer to prove that we're loyal to him. And why do I want to be loyal to a God like that? And why do I want to be like killed for breaking rules? I choose to believe in a story where I am unconditionally forgiven. That sounds really great. And this guy who's talking about it, he's like super ascended master status and is like glowing everywhere he walks and can do this magic that only helps people. And that is so epic. Like, if I was living at that time and I mean, like, if I was inside of this story and I was living at that time and I saw this guy like doing all these things and preaching unconditional love, I'd be like this guy's the winner for sure. And then like looking kind of from like a zoomed out view of what happens as the story progresses, is that not only did he come down and preach unconditional love and say that the Old Testament is bullshit and that that's not even the way that God operates, that's not the way the power of the universe operates, and that all you really have to do is like surrender to being of service and you can have whatever you want. You already have the kingdom of God. You are existing in the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is on earth, and I am the Son of God, but you are all God. You are all part of God, and you are all God witnessing himself, basically, is what he's saying. And that's what we're saying now. But yeah, so not only that, but you also get a story, a super dramatic story, where at humanity's lowest point, where they, horribly torture and murder publicly this ascended master, they were still forgiven. Like, humanity is still forgiven. So now, whenever humanity is going through its existence, if a human is to subscribe to this story, and is wondering whether or not they're forgiven for some mistake they just made, they can be like, oh, it's cool because humans were forgiven then, and yeah, so like I'm definitely forgiven now. I didn't just like kill and torture Christ or whatever. I am super forgiven, and there is not a shadow of doubt in my mind. And I see where that has bred elitism, and it is, after a couple hundred years after all of this was said to happen, then people saw the power that it had and took it and created the Bible and created the church and created all these things. And then we see a really dark period of humanity because, of course, you have to choose light to overcome dark. And if a bunch of people choose dark and a bunch of people are like, I don't know what's going on, then dark's probably going to seem to win. But yeah, the really important thing I think about like if we were to, I'm not committed to anything right now, but if I were to tag on to this line of thought and this particular storyline, what I gain from it is that this is a storyline that has already gone through the depths and is coming out the other side and has already made the mistakes and has the history of making the mistakes. And so I think one of the traps with being like, that didn't work, so we're going to try something completely different, is that then things repeat themselves, right? And that's what we're always not learning, is that history repeats itself, and there are these patterns that human organizations go through. So if you tag onto one that has already been through that, and I'm not saying that, I mean, there are a bunch of religions that you can tag onto. There are a bunch of storylines you could tag onto that's already been through that. But I think my Western culture, I guess, my Western culture has a huge bias, negative, kind of angsty feeling about Christianity, and I know our culture really has that, and so it's about forgiving that and seeing the good in that, seeing the power in some of the things that it talks about, and seeing the power in subscribing to that story where everything really is just beautiful. The line they used was the confident expectation of good. Being able to confidently expect that and not just be like I feel like I'm kind of pulling things from the air or something, but I'm pretty sure things are ultimately good, but I don't really know. That's not as powerful as being like the power of the universe has my back no matter what I do, and I'm always forgiven for all mistakes that I make, so I don't even have to worry about that shit at all. And I can just move forward, and all these doors are going to be open for me that I can't even open myself, because I am a collaboration of everything in the universe. Duh. So that's what I think. Do what you will with that. And yeah, down for discussions, whoever wants to have them.